I'm back. Well, parts of me are. The other bits have gone away to be analysed. Anyway, I'm still here. It's daylight. What more could you ask for? Somebody nice like me. And some great guys watching like you. That's what life's about. Fantastic. Anyway, what we got here? Well, excuse me. Some guys know that I built a Telecaster before, and I put a Stets bar thing on it, stuff like that. I didn't like the Stets bar, so that came off, and then eventually the guitar wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. There was some inherent problems on a Telecaster that I couldn't get on with, so I decided to build another. Now this one comprises of all the fixes that I would have done to the first Telecaster had I known. and there's a load of different things on this that some of them are, I guess they're innovative. I've never seen them on any other Telecaster that anybody's made. And I'm not going to tell you about them. You've got to watch the video to pick up on. But just trust me, some of the features of this guitar make it probably the best Telecaster in the world. I said it about the Strat. Well, it probably is the best Strat. But this is going to be the best Telecaster. And not really much expense spared on it either. It's got all the top bits. It's not a Fender neck. It's Fender licensed before them big mouths come on telling me it's not Fender. Yeah, there it is. Beautiful neck. Look at that. And we got this this body. Well, you'll get to see more of that a bit later. But I can tell you that's something a little bit different than what you might think. Well, where are we going to start? Well, we're going to start by taking these darn things, these shower tuners. Got Fender on the back. Came with a Fender box, we'll call it that. Made in Germany. What's that about? Anyway, they're the Fender ones, so before somebody tells me that it's not a Fender, it gets stuffed. Because it's a Fender. Anyway, I'm going to fit these onto that neck. I'm going to show you how to do it. So we're going to go and zoom in a bit close so you can understand how I do that, because on the back of these shower things there's two little prongs that stick out, and you have to drill them into the neck and get them right, otherwise the tuners are all over the place like this. So that's a bit of a problem for some people. It was for me on the first time I did it, but I know how to do it now, so I'm going to let you in on the secret. So I'll get the camera a bit closer and we'll do that now. What about that? Rock and roll. Okay, well, here we are close up at the back of the Telecaster neck. What a fantastic neck. Shame about the frets, we'll come back to that later. So, here's the little tuner we want to fit, and you can see you've got these two tabs and there's no holes on the neck, because it's not a genuine neck. I could have bought a genuine Fender neck and had no aggravation, but I didn't do that, so here we are. So what do? Well, move that out of the way, get some of this stuff, tear a piece off, tear a strip off, and just stuff it right down the edge of there, like so. Just bend it out of the way. It's all nice and easy. Okay, now you can see that I've sort of pushed this through here, made the holes, and there's bits of paper inside. You can clean that paper out if you want, so that these fit nice and easy, but I like to have them a little bit tight, like that, and I can just push that in, line her up, as you will. Make sure it's straight, most important. You could do it with a rule. Push down, hard, and then put this on this side, and what you do is you just tighten up until those two little prongs in the back will happen. So it'll just dig in enough for you to make some drill holes. It's as easy as that. Take this back out. And you're left, well, I didn't even have to use that. You're left with two tiny little dots there and there. And that's where you drill. Now, when you take your drill, you don't just go and drill. What you do is you get one of these, a drill, and you measure the depth, like so. Then you put a bit of tape around, so you don't drill too deep. What? Now we've got something to work with. Simply drill the hole. That's one. Second one. Okay, there's the first one in place. All we do is flip it over, screw it on. I'm going to leave it loose now for a second or two. And one thing, when you're doing these, just make sure that your drill is slightly bigger and you've got a little bit of leeway. Does no harm, trust me. Oh, see, there's just a bit of sideways movement in that. See that? So we're able to just align these as we want them later on. And there's the final thing. Fitted nicely. If you check down the back of the neck, it's usually good to just look down there. If I can get that right for you. There you go. And you can see they're pretty straight. You don't want them hanging off, do you? Of course, the last thing you have to do is to take a wrench and you just tighten these up. Don't overdo it. Just tighten them. And that's the fitting of the tuners. It's time for a break. See you in a minute. Yummy, yummy, that was nice. Anyway, before we move on, I just want to talk a little bit about these Warmouth necks. They look great. This is a highly figured one, as you can see. It's pretty much like a fender. Fender don't usually have much of this. Well, why did I buy this neck? Why didn't I go and buy a fender one? Probably got it cheaper online. Guess what? I could. But it wouldn't have this figuring. And I wanted this guitar to be something a little bit better than your average off the peg sort of guitar. So I bought the Warmouth neck. And I've harped on about Warmouth necks over time. Because these things here, frets, there they are. Don't get me wrong, they're all fitted okay, and you might have to level them a little bit. And I've got these abalone inserts and things. It's all great. Put my own logo on because that's the way I am. It's these fret ends. You might be surprised to know that Warmouth don't actually finish the fret ends. I don't understand it. Why this neck cost me the same as a Fender neck and it's all finished. Anyway, you can, as my previous guitar build, finish these off properly. You know, put a bit of the tape on and stone them down. You can do all that. Or not. I'm not going to show you how to do it on this one because the last build had it, so you can go and see what I did there. But this one, they call this a 30 degree angle. I can assure you it's about 10%, no matter what they call it and what they say. It's about 10%. But it is just about livable. I might touch it up later, I might not. I'm not going to really do any more on this neck for now. I'm just going to leave that as it is, as it came, and have a look at the body. It should be exciting, because that body's a little bit different. Well, here it is. It's a Warmouth body, but not as we know it. I went and got all the features added as I went along. and had a custom body made. Well, it's like all the other ones, isn't it, Tony? No, it isn't. There's quite a few things that are strange about this one. Let's talk about it generally first, because I like the Telecaster with these sort of nice tops. I want to do it natural. And if you notice this one, if you do go and check the other Telecaster, this one's a darker colour. That's nothing to do with the finish. What it is when you're making these things, when you're choosing a top, you'll find the maple can either be very light coloured maple or more browny coloured. And I opted for the browny coloured, a bit like the the best Strat in the world one. That one I did. And I like this. It's more of a, you get a better feel of the finish. Not the finish, but what you see. The quilt. Yeah, at least I think so. I think with this darker sort of coloured maple, I think you get a better view of the all the quilting. It looks much nicer. Oh, look at that. You see that? Winks and lights. Yeah, it's good. It's very good, and it ought to be. It costs the earth. It costs the top. Underneath we've got my usual swamp ash. Hurts when I laugh, by the way. Swamp ash, and so I had swamp ash. Fixed bridge. Put a big hole there for batteries. Batteries? Something to do with the wife. Remount for all the controls. Thought that'd be nice. I angled this, so if you look at that, you can see that it's it looks ski whiff, but it isn't. That's how it should be. Thinner there, thicker there. Nice deep cut out here. Body contour. Seam on the top. Very nice. It's stratified. And flash it back. There's another couple of things on this body that you wouldn't normally see. This one is thinner than what it normally would be, even without the contour. Yeah, this is called a dot 720 neck socket, or hole, if you will. Call it what you like. It allows the neck to sink deeper. Much deeper, so that the top of the neck is flush near enough with the body. Because this guitar's got no scratch plate, or pick guard, some people call them, you're able to drop the neck lower, which is a nice lower profile all round. And I've done that before on a guitar, and the finished job is really good. So you want to consider that. But I don't think I've ever done one with a angle and a 720. It makes us really thin. It doesn't matter, it's no problem. Maybe I'll have a tremolo without having one. And there's another problem I fixed. On that last Tele, it got Telecaster pickups. Well, that's what you put in it, isn't it? Well, yeah. There's a Telecaster pickup hole there. And there's a Telecaster pickup hole there. Well, not quite. This one, I changed it because Telecaster has an inherent problem. I'll call it a problem. Some of the Telecaster boys won't. That inherent problem is that the neck pickup is always too quiet or too low. When you switch from this pickup to that pickup, down goes the volume, big time. So what I decided to do was to put a Strat pickup in, but actually fit a pickup that's Strat sized, puts a Telecaster pickup. So it balances everything. That's a good move. Yeah. Now I'm also one for changing things. You know how it goes. You get your guitar, you build it all, throw it all together, put it all together, build it, assemble it, call it what you will. Some of the characters out there, man. Yeah, call it what you will. And I like to change things. So I thought to myself, I need a battery box. I'm not going to use it now, but I've got it there. I'm going to bit a battery box. There it is. A Goto, something like that. So later on, when I want to change these for active pickups, I want to put an active circuit in there, or I want to do anything like that, it's designing the guitar. Even if you never use it, for the $15 or $16 they charge to route that out, you got to be nuts not do it, haven't you? So that was an enhancement on this guitar. The Dot 720 is an enhancement. The angled or tapered neck area is an enhancement. The Strat pickup size is an enhancement, but you need the right pickup, which we'll come to. The top is a custom top. It's rear mount. It's hard, so there's no faffing around with tremolos. Well, actually, where I normally go from here is down into this area. There it is. I can't quite do that yet. I can actually seal off in here, no problem, with the the copper tape to reduce any hum and things. Won't be a problem on this guitar, but it could be on yours. And if I do that, I'll probably seal off this area and seal off this area. Well, I don't think I will. I know I will. I've done it before. Pickups I'm going to use are Joe Barden, Danny Gatton. I love doing that, don't you? Anyway, Danny Gatton was, if you've never heard of him, just go and YouTube it, or internet it, or anything you like. Danny Gatton was one of them guys, was a Telecaster player. It was, that's bad. He's a Telecaster player, but he could play anything. And he went to Joe Barden. Hey Joe, that's Jimi Hendrix. Hey Joe, I need these pickups. So Joe Barden made these pickups, and he made a Telecaster set, as he would, and they're a humbucker type of pickup, but they sound like a Telecaster pickup. What's great about that is reduced hum, and with all the other features of hum reducing on this Tele, it's really going to be a really quiet type of guitar. But later, Joe Barden saw about this problem here, I find, and what he did is he made that Telecaster pickup a Strat size. So you've still got the Danny Gatton pickup, but it's in a Strat size, and it makes it just balance beautiful. And I just thought that was a great advantage, because the previous guitar I did, that was a problem, and it was a big problem. Down went the volume, you know. If you watch the video I did on my channel playing that other one, you'll notice it's got a Stetz bottom. You'll notice I hardly ever switched across to that one because it was so low in volume. Now, it wasn't a fault, that was by design, that's how they are. So for me, this is a major enhancement to make this really the best Telecaster in the world. Well, what else have I got? Here we go. You've seen these before, or maybe you haven't, but people who watch my channel all the time have. Here it is. It's a much, but it is much. This thing, let me see. See that? This is a tone shaper for a Telecaster. But there's a problem, and there always is when I'm doing something. If you've got a regular Telecaster you're making, this is perfect. But with this Telecaster, because we've got a rear root, what happened at Warmouth is they left some of the back on there and some of the top on there. So these holes are now much thicker than you would expect them to be. In fact, they're about a quarter of an inch. You've got no chance. None. So I went back to the tone shaper guys, a guy named George, awesome guy, really helpful. And he said, oh, send it back. Well, actually, I made a mistake when I bought this, because I bought two. Don't ask me how. I got the bill for two as well, so don't worry. But I could have sent them back, and I could have got this converted. But I thought, well, I'm okay with the soldering iron. I've done that before. So I spoke to George, and George says, no problem, Tony, I'll send you two pots. But the second problem was that when you mount this and you raise this off, that won't stick through the body enough. The wires are too short. So what George did is he made a custom one with longer wires, so we don't get that problem. Think about these tone shapers. They're fantastic. First of all, you've got virtually no wiring to do. You've got all these switches. They'll let you change capacitors, let you change the load on the pickups. Well, what the pickups see, either 250 or 500 on the pots. Loads of other things down here. I mean, I can't give more to you, just switching effect changes and all sorts of things. But we'll come back to that later. Well, I guess the next thing we're going to do is fit these fender parts. I'm getting nasty with these fender parts. People keep saying, oh, it's not a fender. Get out of here. Because it's a fender. Okay, ferrule strings fit on the back. Ferrule. Watch it don't bite you. And they go in there. Now, a lot of people have trouble with these, but I won't. It's all dead easy if you know what you're doing. And it's all dead hard if you don't. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Don't be too worried. Let's get these out. Now, when you're digging for these, as you do on the internet, you'll find there's some with like grooves around them. Some like these are the fender ones. There's all types, and I'll tell you something else. There's different sizes too. So when you get a body that's designed for exactly the right ones, and you buy them others, they don't fit. You gotta start faffing around and reamering and God knows what. So what I did, it's not the real ones, these are part number 0018876049. Fender string gold, American standard it says here. Oh, I don't care which one they are, as long as they fit. You. I don't think anybody else cares either. Now then, before we fit these ferrules in here, what you really need, particularly on a warm earth body that's been finished, is what happens is you get this stuff running down in them holes. Now, my answer to that's a bit of a Heath Robinson thing, but what that means is it's make it up as you go. But it does work very well. And all I do, believe it or not, is I take a simple pair of scissors. Be careful what you do with these. You could stab yourself or something. And just lightly, just go around like this. And you can see the stuff coming out. Now lightly go around all six. Just like that. You see it coming out, it's no problem. Just do the last few. And what you'll find when you've done this, you can go buy a reamer and waste your money. But you can do it some easier way, and this is the way I like to do it because I've done it before and it worked perfect. Obviously, you only want to be taking off this material that shouldn't really be in the holes. Just nice and easy on that. Well, there they are. Just simply cleaned out with a stupid pair of oil scissors. Work perfect. And when you've done that, take a look at your ferrule. And you find they'll just sort of semi-pop in like so. You can see it's all easy. And all I do is take a bit of card, this will come in handy for this, and just tap. Now you can see what I've got to do with a bit of weight. Hey, believe it or not, that was it. They don't fall out, you don't do anything, that's it, it's in. I can go and fit the rest now. You'll probably find the all beers just as easy to get in. It's amazingly that simple. You can hear when it's down. And that was it. What about that? Let's look a bit closer. There you go. Fitted ferrules. Piece of cake. Don't let anybody tell you that's hard. So now we're coming back to this back plate again. Let's just take it off. I did mark in here where the pots go, and I was going to actually cut them back and fit the standard Telecaster pots, the tone shaper pots. But I went back to George, like I said, and he's sending me a couple of pots, so I'll solder them on, and it will be nice. I'd sooner have it thicker there than thinner there. Makes a difference. So I guess really, the next thing we should really be doing is masking all this off with the copper tape. I'm back. Anybody who watches me building these things all the time will know that I use this copper tape to fit in these holes. And the reason I do that is that helps reduce any noise that can be transmitted into the wiring from spurious signals, or spurious signals as one guy said. So this tape, I got this off eBay, but there's a couple of types of tape, and you can get the good stuff or the bad stuff. This is the good stuff. The good stuff has adhesive that conducts electricity between the top and the bottom. So when you just stick all this stuff in here, it becomes like a solid piece almost. I'll be fitting this into these two as well. Not difficult. And by the time we've finished, it's going to be good. By the way, I also fit some on the back of this. And the reason I do that is that when you join all this together, it makes a box with a thing called a Faraday cage, which some of you might not know about. If you haven't watched my videos, well, don't worry, you're watching it now. So that'll reduce the amount of hum that comes from the electronics. So that's the next thing to do. I'm going to go and fit some in, and I'll be back in a minute. Might be half an hour. Okay, well, I've finished underneath, and there's the back route, or route, whatever you like. And yours should look something like that. Nicely covered all over with the little holes that were there before, so you can get your wires in and out. See them? Okay, well, I'm now going to go and do this one and this one, and I'll be back in a minute. Now that's what yours should look like. You can see they're all sealed off. We'll do a bit more on these a bit later on. And if we flip the thing over, yours should look like that too. Okay, so there you go, sealed off. We'll also do the back plate, which is over there. You don't want to watch me do that, it's just as easy as doing this. And make sure you put it on your back plate too. You'll notice, by the way, just while we were on that front bit, that this edge just about covers all the way around, and the same on that one. Bridge will fit on that, and I have a cover that fits over this, so you're going to get these sealed off all the way around, which is most important. I'm back! Oh, it's all looking nice, isn't it? What do you think? TonyMckenzie.com, don't forget. Eventually I'll put a written review of this on there. Video's good though for these. It's nice. Yeah, what I'm going to do next is reach over there, which isn't easy for me. Get this battery box thing out. Now, I'm not putting any batteries in it. I'm just going to run the wires into there because I'm like that. I like to have a few wires, don't you? So we'll just take the wires and run them across. But before we do that, you'll see that there's two pairs of wires. Now you can switch into series of parallel. You can have 9 or 18 volts. Yeah, 2 9s or 1 18. Nice. Actually, you can have 1 9 if you wire it the right way. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. What we're going to do is just mark them as separate for now, and we'll look after things later, should we ever need to. I'm not even going to do this right now, but well, I'm going to fit it in, but I'm not going to actually wire it into anything. It's just going to sit there, nice and honky-dory for when we change the pickups later in the year, or 10 years from now, or whenever it is. Oh, and don't forget, when you're doing these guitars, sign your name in the back. So I'm going to go and fit that now. It's not really hard, there's a hole for the wire there. It slots in, and there's 4 screws. How hard can it be? There you are. It's a good idea to just take the ends as well, unless you can't get them through the hole. You know, that'd be like, don't you? Okay, so as you can see, the battery box is now in there. Here's the few wires that we might use at some stage. Not going to use them now. Doesn't really matter. But if you don't do that, it's a real ball ache later on. So you wouldn't want to do that. That's done. These are sealed off. Ferrules are in. Sealed at the front. It's beginning to take shape, isn't it? Shape. Yeah. Now, moving on to these pickups. Be a good time to show. There's one. You know what you see? Very nice. You can just tell they're really well made. I've been here before with these. These are fantastic. Yeah. So that's the neck. That's the big fat Tele one. That's good too. It looks pretty stonking. So because they're put together to look exceedingly similar, I thought it'd be a good idea. However, I'm going to fit this, they call it a Strat Deluxe NM White for this neck one. It isn't just a Strat Deluxe tool. It's a Danny Gatton sized one. That's what it is. The problem's this. You can see this is narrower here than it is here, and it's narrower there than it is there. So if you just take these screws, shall we get them out, and you just bang them in the holes, what you're going to find is all the screws except that one are going to come through the neck. You don't want to do that. So what we have to do is just fit the neck with one bolt. Not a problem. That one's the right size. Obviously put the neck plate on, and then what we do is we mark these and we grind them down, saw them down, file them to the right sizes, and then you make sure you put them in the right holes, otherwise you get straight through the neck mode. Hurt your hands when you play at the top. So I'm going to go and fit the neck now. It's not rocket science. At least I don't think it is. Okay, well when we're going to fit this neck, you don't just ram it in from the end like that. You have to put it in and push down like that. If you try it the other way, you can end up with a bit of a bother. Other thing you want to do before you fit the neck is just clean around this edge, because because they do sometimes have bits of gunge on. I like it to be nice and smooth, because when it goes on there it shouldn't really need to come off. Got it? Okay, well, let's have a look. Okay, what I do, just take the neck, slide it all the way in, but not at the bottom, and then just push down, and it should fit that easy. That was it. And it should also sit in there tight enough so that it doesn't just fall out. If you've got a slack section in here, it's not always the best thing to have. Next thing is you want one of those screws, and your neck point, of course. There it is. Stand your guitar up, adjust the camera. It's this bottom hole here that's the right one. What we need to do is put the screw in there. Just leave yours for now. Got the plate dangle, not a problem. Start screwing. As I say, you can hear that. You can actually put candle wax on the screw to make it go in a bit easier. Don't really bother myself. And we can just sit this other screw just loose for now. And that's got the neck tight enough for now, just with one screw. That's solid. Maybe once again a bit more when you get the other screws in, but nice fit. That's your first fitting of the neck. Now before we do anything else, you want to take a look at these 3 screws that are left. So get your screw, put it roughly where it should be, and mark it with a pen how far you want to trim off it. I usually just put one little black mark so we can see where it's going to be cut. Or ground back. Take the next one. What's that one look like? Well, that's a bit high too. We want to drop that back a little bit. It's number 2. And the third one, we can do the same again. Turn the neck around. Actually, still a little bit high. I'd like to take that back a bit. We don't want to come out the front, do we? So now we've got 3 screws with 3 little black marks. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe. And what we'll do is grind them down. I'm back. A little bit of an interruption here. Good reason too. You know, when you go on eBay and you buy this sort of thing and you say, yeah, I want this for a Stratocaster, and then they send you one that fits a Telecaster and don't fit a Stratocaster, you can get annoyed, like I do. It's a very good lesson. Drill me little holes. I've plugged them now, don't worry, you can't see them anyway. For this thing, yeah, it's crap. Do you know, it's not even brass, because it sticks to the magnet. How crap's that? So that particular supplier will go down my little book as being a bit of a lad. No more buys off him, eh? The problem is, they're really getting hard to find for Stratocasters now. Or at least they are in the UK. So the ones that are selling them are ripping you off big time. Not only are they charging you double what it's worth, they're charging you double what the shipping is too. I ended up paying for 2 of these darn things, these pieces of crap here, just 2 of them, so I had a spare. Like 25 quid. That's about $35 with shipping. That's ridiculous. Anyway, lesson learned. Don't believe what they send you. Check it before you try and fit it. I know, I should have. Anyway, let's go back and fit the real deal. Oh, and just before I do go, what do you think of the shirt? Oh, it's awesome. It's got the guitar there, it's got the, yeah, all the stuff. Hang on. Here I am. But you knew that. Got the adjusted neck screws. I've got my guys at work, grind them down. You can see, maybe you can see, the different lengths. Because if they weren't, they'd stick out here. Especially on this .720 drop with a narrow profile, you know, cutaway type of thing. Okay, well, I'm going to fit them. Pretty boring, really. What you don't want to do is to slip and dig into the guitar. So do take your time. Some people put these down flat on the bench and do it from behind that way. Make sure they're all tight. And that's it. Neck screwed. Oh, and another thing I did was to cover the back of this plate for the back of the guitar with the copper, so that when it sits on the guitar it makes a very nice sealed chamber, so to speak. Very important. Well, now we've got a fixed neck, really well tightened on there. There's no fear of that coming off, and the angle should be probably right, but we'll need to check that a bit later when we've done some more stuff. Well, when we're going to fit this bit, the first thing we've got to do before that, of course, is to look at these two places here and put masking tape inside so that nothing shorts out on the bottom. It's a simple matter. You just take the masking tape and stick it all in, but don't come over the top edge. Just keep it down under the edge and you'll do fine. I'll go and do this and show you in a moment. And there you have it. You can see that from there. We've taped inside, so we just don't have any shorts on the pickups. Now, when I was deciding what fixed bridge to put on here, I could have gone with one of the old-fashioned original Telecaster style, or one of the more modern things. And what I ended up doing, actually, is getting a sort of hybrid. It's this one. You can see, really thick plate, really thick. And what I like about this one is the this type of saddle. Now I know, because I've done the .720 drop on here, I'm going to have to take these and grind them down. It's no problem as long as you've got a grinder. I have. Oh, I know a man who has. So to fit this now, we need to fit the pickup into there, wire through there, and this on here with 4 screws. It's just 4 screws that hold this thing in place. So let's start as we mean to proceed by unscrewing these. Pretty simple, really. Don't lose anything. I like to a bit shorter down this end. This is why it's always a good idea to keep these things in order. There we go. Last one. So we keep them separate, just over there. Now when you look at this plate, you can see really how thick that is. And I'm not sure if it's magnetic. Let's check. No, it's not magnetic at all. That's the pickup. So you know it's brass, which is really nice finish. So what you've got to do is take this pickup, this JB they call themselves here. It is JB pickups, 1.14 this one says. Anyway, it's a Telecaster pickup, you can see, but it is with a bit of a difference. It's called Danny Gatton. So what we want to do is fit this pickup in there. When you get some wiring instructions and things, don't worry about that. And you also get 2 screws and 3 screws and 3 of these rubber things. 3 screws on the back pickup, isn't it? And there they are. And what we'll be doing is keeping the 3 rubbers and dumping the 3 screws because they're the wrong colour. So, taking a look at this, mounts this way. Fancy that, it fits. Oops, where am I going? Let's come down here a bit. So we got the 3 screws, the 3 rubbers and the pickup. It's all pretty straightforward really. You want your 3 screws in the holes. All simple. And what I do then is tend to put these on at the back. They're not the best of methods, these things aren't, but they do work. I've done it before. Now we just simply get the screws to line up. Screw your screws in, I'm going, and you'll be away. There's one. Second one. And there's your third one. Now I'm not for wanting to screw these all the way up. Just want to get these, so we've got the pickup through the hole a little bit. Now if you look at that, you can see it's not poking through by much because right now I don't need to do that. Well, that's your pickup mounted in there, and we're ready to fit this into the guitar. Okay, and then use these 4 screws here to mount this to the guitar. All very, very simple. I keep saying that. That's because it is. First job, of course, is to get this wire here down through the hole. You'll see, there's the hole. To go down through there into the cavity at the back. So you do want to make sure this is all nice. So there we have it. Down into the cavity. Looks good. Let's just check. And there he goes. So now, it's very easy to line up. You've got your 4 screws lined up. You can see the wire. Well, you can't see it, but it's there, sticking out the back. Don't matter. We need our 4 screws that this thing comes with. Let's pull them out. Well, you can get a little Allen key for adjusting those saddles a bit later. Well, here we are. It's all a simple matter of just getting your screws. Make sure you get the screws straight. Screw them down into the body. It's really pretty straightforward. Just keep that one loose. Choosing decent parts like this make your guitar just that much better, don't they? You know, I could have got the little thin tin thing, and they even make them in gold, the ashtray type of thing. And I thought, no, let's not do that. Okay, let's just nip these up. Do it separate so that they're apart a little. You can see the, well, you can't, but I can. These holes here are lined up where the strings come through. That's really got it, really solid. Perfect impact. Now if I turn the guitar over, there's the wire coming out. I like to take a little bit of that tape over there. And just mark it. So on with the tape is the bridge. Nice and easy to remember later. Should we wrap that round for now? Okay, I'll be fine for now. Switch him over. Now you remember we had these little things over here. Remember them? Whoops. Here they are. Well, the first thing we've got to do is turn them all around, because that's how they go back on. And if we just put them back, so I'll just put them back now and see you in a moment. Well, there they are back in, and I've put them roughly where they should be, just in case I didn't bother to take them out, the sight's right and all the rest of it. But you can see that, actually looking at it, these three taper in, and this one hops out, and then these three taper in. So you get three set back a bit, and three more further out, or back, if you get me. They're only approximates, so just makes it easier when you're working a bit later on the rest of the stuff. It looks quite nice actually, that does. Oh, but you don't have these in gold too, I don't know. Now, just before we get too carried away, one thing I did forget to tell you actually is underneath this bridge there's normally a piece of sticky tape with metal on one side. On the other side you have a wire that comes through as a ground. That's most important, because that way you get this bridge ground and then the strings ground. If you don't do that, you're going to get some hum. So, although I didn't show it on camera, you do need to make sure that this is grounded into the main root, okay, or the main control section on your guitar. You may have a top rooted guitar, doesn't make any difference, the same thing, but do make sure that you've got the little ground of this plate, most important. I don't really know whether I've spoken much about Joe Barden pickups in the past, but anyway, this is one of them. This is a Stratcom Telecaster one, and the Telecaster one's already fitted, as you know. They are a humbucker type of pickup, which is quite nice. You can see straight off the build quality is, well, it's frankly, it's awesome. It's not a single thing out of place. I know that they sound great because I've been there before. So I wanted to get the best pickups really that I could get for this guitar. And Joe Barden, just about it. The only problem with Joe Barden pickups, of course, is the cost. They are so expensive. I think these cost nigh on £200 in England for two, or maybe a little bit more even, $210. That's well over it's $300. And I know that they're cheaper in America, at least I think they are. But if you're going to build something really great like this, you're not really going to want to start cutting corners on pickups. And the primary reason for this pickup, and as per the other one, is there's no hum, or virtually no hum, and more importantly, they sound like a Telecaster. And that's one of the key features of this type of pickup. Now, before we move on, I want to talk a little bit about these third-party parts that we buy, or sometimes these, quote, genuine Fender parts that we spend a lot of money on, and somehow they're not quite the same as the ones that we already had, if you get me. We'll start off first of all with the replacement ring for that neck pickup. You know, this was a Telecaster one somebody sent me, made of metal by the way. Useless for what I need, because this is a Stratocaster pickup. So I went to my famous All Parts, the UK office somewhere based in England, I don't know where, don't really care either. Now, I can't buy a Fender one of these things, it's just life. But these were really expensive. Let me just tell you how expensive they were before I tell you about them. These things, to cover up my address, cost £26.71. Now that's for two, just for two. Direct from All Parts. Whether it's the UK or the USA, I don't really care, I just wanted the bit. Now I did check it with my pickup, and it's not magnetic. That's a good start. That means it's not metal like that one. It means it's brass. £26 something, totals about $35, $38, maybe a bit more at the moment. That's a lot of money for two pieces of crap, right? But you know what really annoys me the most? I'll tell you this, really annoys me. I expect these to be absolutely perfect. Yet these guys, I'll zoom in, you can have a look yourself. These guys cannot even take a real close look. Take a look at the two screws that they came with. See them? Yeah, well look carefully enough because they're different sizes. Fancy that? Yeah, how crap's that? Well look, I'm no wimp at this. I've got other screws. Fender ones, made in the USA it says here, and these actually are the right ones. They're the same as I went and checked on a real Fender. However, that's not the end of the story either. These are little Tony tips that you should really take on board when you're looking to do this sort of stuff. With the pickup here, this one, I actually got 4 screws. 3 for there, and I wanted 2 for there, but I only had 1, so I had to order some new ones. And I ordered some genuine Fender. Don't get any more genuine Fender than that, do you? Well, you don't, until we take a closer look. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you can see this. Just hold on. Now, I don't know if they're in focus or not. Don't worry about that too much. But can you see them? Those 2 screws. The one on the left is what I had from Fender. Nice gold colour. And the one on the right is what I had from Fender. And they're both, that is the length of the 2 screws. Go figure. You spend all that extra money on buying the Fender part, and guess what? They're different. Ridiculous. I'm back. Oh, it's another day. Got another shirt on. Fancy that. If you're waiting to listen to this, it might be on the end of the video after this, but if it isn't, it's going to be right here on my channel. Don't forget to go and look at it. It sounds awesome. In fact, it sounds one of the best Telecasters I've ever played. It's the best Telecaster I've ever played. See you soon. I can say if you're 39 or over, which a lot of guys are, according to YouTube, unless you're lying about your ages, boys. Go and get checked for prostate cancer, because you can mark my words, it will change your life if you don't. Well, you won't have a life. You'll be dead, belly up. I could say a lot of other things, but I had it done and I'm still here, look. Unfortunately for you, I'm still here. So you really want to go and get that checked out. I mean, what's a finger between friends?